Google is offering free AI training and tools to U.S. small businesses so they can innovate in ways both big and small. Built by Google experts, the Google AI Professional Certificate equips small businesses with practical AI skills. Through hands-on projects, they can start using AI to get more done and unlock new opportunities for their business. This is a new era of American innovation. Find out more at grow.google/business.
This summer, say I do.
I am marrying a stranger.
Like never before.
Am I crazy?
It's a whole new Married at First Sight on Peacock.
Thank God I woke up in love.
With new experts.
My name is Dr. Lisa.
My name is Paul Brunson.
More couples.
This could be the start of a very successful marriage.
And more surprises.
Or maybe not.
Everything is just not enough.
You're a little bit crazy.
I don't know what's gonna happen. I want my fairy tale ending.
Married at First Sight, streaming July 12th, only on Peacock.
This summer, Prime Video takes you back before Legally Blonde, before law school, and into the world of Elle Woods in high school. Set in 1995, this Gemini vegetarian knows exactly who she is until her family moves from Bel Air to Seattle. Packed with iconic fashion, 90s nostalgia, and a throwback soundtrack, Elle proves one thing. Law school was hard. High school was harder. From the world of Legally Blonde, watch Elle, a new original series only on Prime Video. Watch now.
Welcome back. It is Jay Scott, and it is the Hook Rocks, the ultimate rock community podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping by. Always appreciate when you take time out of your day and listen to what I got to talk about and listen to who I'm talking with. We are part of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Great network for music-related podcasts. As I always mention, you can find something for your music tastes whenever you go on Pantheon, and it's pantheonpodcast.com, and you can follow them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Pantheon Pods, and you can do the same with the Hook Rocks on all three of those platforms. Just search up the Hook Rocks. Set your app to automatic download so you get the latest episodes right to your phone and all the previous ones too as well. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to like us, whatever you need to do on whatever platform you're on. So like I said, you get the latest episodes. And we've had some really good ones lately. We just celebrated our 500th episode with Dax Nielsen from Cheap Trick. A great interview. Got a lot of positive feedback on that. Dax really talks about his journey with not just Cheap Trick, but even before that too as well, with Brandi Carlile and his band from Rockford, Harmony Riley, and our brief history too, 25 years ago. So great interview. We celebrated our 4-year anniversary with the legendary iconic guitar player Nita Strauss from the Alice Cooper Band. She's got a new album coming out called Call the Void, out July 7th. That's this Friday. So make sure you check that out as well. She talked about collaborating with artists like Lizzie Hale, Dorothy, Lilith Czar, and many others. So check out that interview. We had a new music spotlight with Moon Fever Band, which is a great band out of Seattle. They got a new single coming out, and it was great to talk with Mitch. Mitch was in Wisconsin. We talked about brats, beer, and cheese, along with some music. And the wonderful, extremely talented, love Jax Hollow. She was on too as well. Really got to talk with her. I always like having her on because it seems like we talk for hours, and she's so open about where she's going, where she's been, and what she wants to accomplish in her music. It's a great treat for everyone to do that. And don't forget to check out some previous episodes too as well, like with Josh Todd, Scott Gorham, and Don Jameson from That Metal Show. Scott Gorham from Thin Lizzy, we had them on. George Lynch, the legendary guitar player from Dokken and Lynch Mob. Kip Winger talked the band's new album, 7. Way back earlier this year, we had Richie Kotzen from the Winery Dogs, and we welcomed Dax Nielsen once before, along with his dad, Rick Nielsen, talking Cheap Trick and their Rockin' Vodka. So many episodes for you to check out. We also talked with our professor of audio, Skylab, about the Expona convention here in Chicago, about upcoming sonic technology. So please check that out. And we had our live album review that we do quarterly, and we focused on Cheap Trick at Budokan, kind of tie that in with the Dax Nielsen interview. So please check out that one too. And these two gentlemen, I use that term loosely, as our next guest is on one of my favorite podcasts, and that podcast is All Things Blues and Southern Rock. I've been on their show before. Jason's been on the show. We also did a brief, I don't know what you call it, conversation or talking about what actually happens in the strip club. And it's Jason and Brian from All Things Blues and Southern Rock. What's happening?
Good to be here, man. And congrats on your 500th episode. That's quite the milestone for you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you.
You need a hobby, Jay. You need to do something with your life.
I know, man. I need something to do except, talking music.
People ask Brian and I, like, how do you guys get so many podcasts? We're like, we do one a week. You do like 5.
Well, I did do 5 during the pandemic. For April and May, the beginning of the pandemic, I was pushing out 5 episodes a week. And now I've kind of taken a little step back here over the last month and a half for a couple of different reasons, but usually I average about 3 or 4. So that's kind of, where I'm at. But also want to mention too, before I forget, we are now on Threads, the new social media platform that just went live today, the day we're recording this. And you can check us out there at the Hook Rocks too as well. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, it should be pretty easy to find.
Yeah. And I moved our podcast Instagram to Threads today as well. Right, so All Things Blues and Southern Rock can be found on Threads.
Yes. You were up on this new social media thread that I had.
Only because Jay messaged us. He's like, Threads? And I'm like, what's a thread?
Well, I've been looking for a reason, an excuse to not use Twitter. And it has nothing to do with anything but the fact that I don't want to pay for my social media.
Not to work.
Yes. And it had to be efficient and have bugs in it like every week. And I don't want my stuff to be limited in what I can view and what I can't see. And it's just like, I've had Twitter now for, 5 years? Haven't paid for it, not about to. And, I have a problem giving more money to billionaires. It's just how I
I think, Brian, you would agree with that, eh?
I would agree with that. And you just had Jax Hollow on, and I think we're going to talk to her soon. So, privy to you, or my hat's off to you for that. She is, a joy to talk to.
Well, I owe my interest and my joy of listening to her music to both you guys, because for the 2 artists that I found by listening to you guys was Jax Hollow and Leilani Kilgore.
Two good ones. And we found Jax through the Rockin' Pod, right, Brian? She was like,
that's the first time we talked to her. Rockin' Pod 21, and we've developed a friendship since there. And she's just absolutely great to talk to.
Yeah, she steered us towards Leilani Kilgore as well. So
that's right.
Without a Jax origin story, we don't have Leilani Kilgore in our lives, guys.
And we got to have the Christmas, guitar special with Jax Leilani and Aaron Coburn.
I have to check her out. That's one artist.
You do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She comes up your way too in the Chicago area all the time. She's based out of Cincinnati, but she goes all around. You should definitely check her out. She does a lot more mainstream rock than you would think for somebody who's a purported blues artist. But she's great. A lot of fun live for sure.
Do they play your music on WKRP?
Oh.
It got canceled after new WKRP flop. So it's been great theme song, by the way. One of the all-time,
one of the best
TV theme songs.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So I think I asked this question to Jason when he was on, but I haven't asked you, Brian. And that's really what this podcast is all about. Is you've listened before, and just like every great rock song has a hook that pulls you in, every rock fan has a moment, whether it's a song, an album, a band, or performance that hooked you on rock and roll. What was it for you?
Mine was Kiss Alive 2. And that was the thing that that's where those loud guitars I first heard, and then back then, just having the album, the vinyl, and seeing the picture on the fold out, and then it's just imagination after that. And it was like, as a little kid, the little lunchbox record players with the speaker in there. I mean, I listened to that thing all the time. I was just mesmerized. And, like I said, you could own back then, you couldn't really see a lot of pictures of those guys. Well, I think at the time too, by the time I was listening to that, they were already, I think, into the Dynasty phase, and they were in like Tiger Beat and magazines like that. But no, that was the thing, like listening to that record and just like, I'm there. Like I can just picture it. It's just so powerful. So yeah, that's what got me into loud guitars and what started the journey where I'm at now.
And Jay, it's a clear evolution from Kiss to blues and Southern rock music. I mean, the line's right there.
Totally.
You listen to Nothing to Lose. Listen to Let Me Go Rock and Roll off the second album, Hotter Than Hell. There's a little bit of that there.
Dude, listen to Mr. Speed and Tomorrow and Tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
Kiss Alive.
I wish I had something to add to this conversation. I do not know the Kiss catalog very well.
Well, that's a character flaw. This, for me, the first album I got from them was the first album I ever purchased, and that was Kiss Lick It Up when I was 9 years old. And then I went to a old neighbor's house that moved out of the neighborhood, and my brother and I went there on like a Saturday afternoon, and he had Kiss Alive 2.
First one.
Kiss Alive 2. Kiss Alive 2.
Okay.
And I had some blank tapes. That's how you recorded music. You had a phonograph and a tape deck. So I was recording the album while we were doing stuff. But I remember looking at the gatefold and going, holy shit, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And the picture of Gene on that album cover is by far the greatest picture of Gene Simmons ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Is that on the front or is it in the back when they're...
No, it's one of the 4 pictures in the back where he's got the blood all over his face.
Right, yeah.
Oh,
makeup starting to run
I've
off.
even seen that picture.
That's so intense. It's like, and you're a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking at that, you're like, what the hell is this? Like, who is this guy? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I've always been a Kiss Alive 2 fan more than Kiss Alive.
Yeah. And I never had Kiss Alive, but I will tell you this. My cousin had Kiss Alive, and I don't know if he still has a copy. I got to find out, but the songs were misprinted, like on the dead box or the label in the middle, they were reversed. So there was like the wrong label on there that could be worth money if he still has that.
Totally. And then, of course, the 5 studio songs that were on the album.
I think Rocket Ride by Ace is the only one that like had any impression on me.
Yeah, Larger Than Life was cool. And not a big fan of All American Man. However, the Minefield cover version with Todd Kearns on vocals.
Oh, okay.
Is incredible. Like,
I'll have to look that up. I haven't heard about that.
Oh my God.
Why was he doing vocals? Did he just have him guest on that or something?
No, he was like, he was the bass player vocal. He shared vocals on Minefield. So he's got about 5 or 6 songs on there that he sings.
So what is Minefield?
They're like a band, bunch of studio guys and stuff.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a Kiss song. Like I said, I don't know Kiss's catalog. You know, like Rock and Roll Night, Lick It Up, X and Sex, Crazy Nights.
X and Sex, probably one of the worst.
Beth.
Probably one of the worst songs I've ever heard.
That video is cheesy as shit, though. They're all doing that. Paul Stanley's
what is Paul Stanley listening or wearing in that video? Like that leotard with like the sides of the thighs like torn out. It's like a singlet leotard type thing. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. with Paul on that.
Billy Squier lost his career for a similar music video, and Paul Stanley just kept trucking.
You know, Billy Squier in that video dancing by himself in really bad clothes was probably what did it. If Paul was dancing with himself wearing that stuff, it probably would have been the same fate, but he wasn't.
But I like that song for some reason.
Yeah, I
No, the Billy Squier song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That Rock Me Tonight, correct?
Yeah, there you go.
See? I know more about Billy Squier than I do Kiss. You gentlemen commence the Kiss talk, so I might learn a bit more.
You know, I mean, after the first 6 studio records, it's like, they veered off, then came back with Creatures of the Night and then Lick It Up. And then after that, I mean, I liked that stuff back then in my teenage years, but like now, like anything after Lick It Up, I can do without. But.
You know, Animalize had about half of a good album. Asylum, I've revisited over the last couple of years, and it's a good album. However, I don't know what they were doing with the mix of the production on Asylum and Animalize. It just sounds kind of muffled.
If you read about that Animalize is basically a Paul Stanley record because Gene was in his acting career, and Paul Stanley basically kept that together.
Yeah, I had an idea. What's that?
Sorry to interrupt. Talking his acting career, do you know that Gene Simmons starred in a movie with John Stamos and Vanity in the 80s?
Yeah. What was it called?
And he was a cross-dressing criminal mastermind.
Never Say Something.
Never Too Young to Die. Close.
Never Too Young to Die. Yeah. Never Too Young to Die. He also was in Trick or Treat.
Yep.
Which had the Fastway soundtrack. He was in a movie Runaway with Tom Selleck.
Yeah, he was making the robots that killed people. Yeah.
Yep. And then he was in an episode of Miami Vice.
Everybody, Al Bundy. He was in an episode of.
I don't know what Ed Bundy.
Ed Nugent was on an episode of Miami Vice.
Ed O'Neill. Oh my God, Ed O'Neill.
Ed Bundy. Is that Irish?
It's Oshit Bundy.
Ed Oshit Bundy. Well, it is, yeah. Well, that's Irish. Oshit Bundy. He likes corned beef. and he likes
shoes. So Irish Stanson shoes.
Apparently likes the shit, too. So, Brian, how did you get into podcasting?
I got into it, All Things Blues and Southern Rock started out just as a Facebook group with like 20 friends or whatever. And I don't remember consciously thinking about that. It just organically happened with the Facebook group and just sharing, I think at that time I'd gotten really focused on what I'm mainly listening to is this blues-based rock, blues rock, Southern rock kind of thing. And then I heard State of America, the Black Crowes podcast with our friends David Hudson and Ian Rice. And I just thought, maybe I could do this, but with all kinds of different blues rock, Southern rock bands, like not just focused on one band, but on current bands and stuff. And so then, I called David Hudson again from the State of America and talked to him, and he was very supportive and encouraging and gave me some advice. And then it took a while and he would kind of message me every once in a while, hey, how are you doing with this? And then finally it started in July of 20 during the pandemic. And, and once again, when it was time to, look for a co-host because, I had one previous, but it wasn't the right vibe and whatever. And so, went to David Hudson and I said, yeah, I'm looking for a co-host. And he goes, you got to get Jason Johannes. And so we had a Zoom chat and it was cool. And we started from there and here we are now. So yeah. Like I said, I don't recall if I thought of doing a podcast prior to State of America. It was maybe in back of my subconscious, but it was definitely after hearing that, and we become good friends with those guys. And in 21, like they had a table right beside us and at the Rockin' Pod in Nashville, and we've just been friends. And it's great to be part of this podcast community. So that's kind of a, long story short, basically. So that's how it started.
It's all because of David Hudson, who's a sweetheart of a guy. He and Ian both are. They really are. They're good dudes.
Awesome. Kind of sounds like a Hallmark movie, like Amorica. Amorica Love for Pod.
State of Amorica, heart of Amorica.
Lifetime or Hallmark are going to be knocking down your door in a moment here.
Yeah, and David will kid, he's very modest, but he'll say yeah, I got, you guys wouldn't be doing this without me. He's kind of joked about that once, I think, if I remember correctly.
It's true. It's true. And I'd been on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jason had been on to do review by your side with those guys, but really, if you want to take it back farther than that, I mean, I think so many of us have said that the Black Crowes changed our lives. Black Crowes, their second record, Southern Harmony Musical Companion, was like the grenade that just blew everything up. I mean, because starting with Kiss Alive 2, later on it would be Rat Out of the Cellar, later on it would be Tesla Mechanical Resonance, which I took a huge kind of step forward to more, songs that were more kind of 70s blues rock. Cinderella, Long Cold Winter, another great record like that. And, lo and behold, when the first Black Crowes record came out, Shake Your Moneymaker, I was kind of like, oh, this is just another Georgia Thunderbolts, which, or Georgia Satellite, sorry. I still get confused with the new, Georgia Thunderbolts being a newer band and Georgia Satellites. But, yeah, when the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion came out, it was, like I said, it just blew everything up, and it completely shifted my musical, tastes and everything. And then you read interviews with those guys, who did they listen to? And then you're getting into the Stones, and then you read interviews with them, and then I'm listening to blues. And so that really, and those guys would say that too for State of America. It's the Black Crowes. I have to give all the credit in the world for, I think I know those guys would say the same about their podcast and ours. And without the Black Crowes, I don't think we'd be doing it.
That album, I agree 100%. Shake Your Moneymaker was a great album. It really was. I mean, especially some of the deep cuts on there, like Stare It Cold, Things, a lot of great stuff. Of course, they had the big hits. Obviously, She Talks to Angels. But the second album, No Speak, No Slave, Hotel Illness, I mean, just a killer album. And I remember the reason why that album means so much to me was I had it when I was in high school, and I had a party and someone ripped off a bunch of my music, and that was the CDs that someone took, and I hadn't replaced it in like several years after that. I don't know why, just, never got around to replacing it. And then I was going on like my first road trip by myself in my early 20s. And I was at Tower Records, and I was looking for something new to listen to and something that I knew. So I grabbed the Black Crowes album. Like, I haven't listened to this album in such a long time. And I grabbed Pete Yorn's Music for the Morning After, which is another absolutely killer album. An artist that meant a lot to me, especially leaving, your teens into young adulthood. His music really spoke to me. And I remember driving up to New Baltimore, Michigan on that road trip, and just there and back, all I listened to were those two albums. And I just had a whole another appreciation for the Black Crowes after that. But yeah, just a fantastic album. I 100% agree. That album just gets me revved up, especially those two songs I mentioned, No Speak, No Slave and Hotel Illness. Those are probably my two favorite on the album. But it's just interesting how I just had this conversation with a buddy of mine the other day about how a particular artist or a particular album can connect with you so much more than something else that's out. And it's all about timing. It's when it hits you, it's where it hits you, it's what you're going through in life. We were talking about Butch Walker, who's one of my favorite artists. And there's an album called Sycamore Meadows that means a ton to me. He was in a band called South Gang in the early 90s as the scene was kind of dying. He went and started a band called Marvelous 3, who, by the way, are reuniting with a new album this year.
Are they really? Wow.
Yeah, fantastic.
Nice.
And then he had his solo album, and I had friends that loved him, friends that loved Marvelous 3, friends that loved Butch, but I just, was never paying attention. So I got a divorce 16 years ago. And it was a couple months after my divorce. My buddy was like, "Hey, you want to go see Butch Walker at the House of Blues?" And I'm like, "I got nothing going on." I'm like, "I'm divorced." So we go to the House of Blues. And he starts playing his music, and I felt like I was the only one there. And I felt like he wrote these lyrics about my divorce. And ever since then, that album, him as an artist is top notch for me. But yeah, it's just, when you look at your own personal catalog, and I'm not just talking about the stuff you have on a wall, the stuff you have in your collection. When I say personal catalog, are like the 10 albums in your life that when you pull it out, it feels different. It feels, because there's an emotional connection to you. It's just that's the beauty of music.
Well, with the Southern Harmony Musical Companion at this point, I think I don't listen to it a lot, but because in my head, it's like, this is like a special occasion record because it's so epic. And it's that's my early 20s, totally. And the record, the way that record flows and it takes you on a journey and a story, and it's just perfect, lightning in a bottle. So, and I don't have it on vinyl yet. Maybe that's what I'm waiting for, but it's just really special to me that, now at this point, it's going to be that special occasion thing to listen to where, something like Three Snakes and One Charm, I'll listen to a little bit more regular and stuff. But, yeah, I remember my friend who got me into the Rolling Stones, he kind of compared the Southern Harmony to Exile on Main Street just because how it flows. Granted, that's a longer record and whatnot, but interestingly enough, Southern Harmony Musical Companion was released on the same date as Exile, 20 years later. And then for me, that's part 1 and 2 of the trilogy. Exile, part 1, part 2, Southern Harmony Musical Companion. 20 years later, Blackberry Smoke comes out with the Whippoorwill. So that's my trilogy. And I relate those 3 records so much. But I've never really listened to them back to back like that in that order. So I'll have to do that sometime.
I've got to do that now, man, because I love all 3 of those albums.
Mm-hmm.
They're all fantastic. And Whippoorwill, I took my son to see the anniversary show.
Oh, nice.
Was it earlier this year or was it late last year?
Late last year, the
late
fall.
Last year. Man, those guys are just incredible,
And
I'll always put on a good show, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's never an off night. I've seen Blackberry Smoke 10, 12 times. I've never heard them play a bad note, have a bad show, anything. It is incredible.
Yep.
Yeah,
one of the best live bands around.
Yeah. And we talked to a lot of the younger bands from the Southeast. Everybody mentions them. Everybody, it's I always say them, and along with Whiskey Myers, are the flagships of this kind of music that we focus on in our podcast. And I'm seeing Whiskey Myers here on the 24th or 25th here. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I've said it before too, where I think Blackberry Smoke is the face of modern day Southern rock.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Absolutely. I mean, they just put on a great show. They tour a lot, like your atypical 70s Southern rock band, like Skinner and the Allman Brothers. They're a very family oriented band. You see pictures on Instagram and social media at birthday parties with each other. And
nobody said a word about anybody in that band. And we've had tons of people on that know them or social media. I have never seen one bad thing written or said about any member of Blackberry Smoke.
That's true. That's true. Everybody loves those guys. And how they give back, too. I mean, they always have a young artist opening up for them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's Tyler Bryant, whether it's Ida Mae, whoever they have opening up for them, they always give back. And I wish more bands would do that because I think it's so important for bands that connect like that. But yeah, Blackberry Smoke, Black Rose, I got to do that trilogy. That's a great trilogy. Three great albums.
That sounds like a podcast, Brian.
Yeah,
what do you think? We could do podcast.
You talk about Blackberry Smoke being family orientated. They have a live DVD from North Carolina. Why am I?
Leave a Scar live in North Carolina.
Leave a Scar live, yeah. And there's like little snippets of interviews in between. And Charlie says early on, they decided they were going to be a fans band.
Yeah.
And I think they've really set that example for, all these other bands, because these days that's the promotion. It's the fans as family and those podcatchers and whatnot. And I think too, this I'm kind of assuming, I think they get their business ethos from the Grateful Dead, because the Grateful Dead didn't have FM radio, and FM radio, we've already, we've had talked about our feelings towards that. They don't have all that support, but I've read interviews and it's like, our fans don't care about that. And to see the success that they have just DIY. And I think, I would just assume that they're somewhat influenced by the Grateful Dead and how they kind of did their business or went on as a band, how they did that in the whole kind of, fans as family. And Blackberry Smoke is taper friendly. They don't talk about it, but you go like on archive.org and, you can find their shows. So I'm pretty sure they know that people are taping them. I mean, it's probably someone within deep in the, organization, I would assume.
Yeah. I always believe that young artists should follow the model of Blackberry Smoke, in that they tour constantly. They're not afraid of the grind. They build a fan base one show at a time. They keep all the money they make from merch because they own their own merch company. I know they do a lot on Earache Records, but depending on what kind of deal they have with their masters, it's probably like a 3 or 5 year where they, Earache gives them back the masters after 3 to 5 years, but they help with distribution. But there's been times they've come to the Chicago area 4 times in a year. Mm-hmm. Not all the time in the city, but the surrounding suburbs and surrounding places to play. Mm-hmm. And if there's our new bands listening, that's the model that you should be doing in today's modern rock music. And I know there's bands that make music, and I know of a band, I won't mention the band's name, but they have a tour bus. I'm talking to their management one day, and they have a tour bus that they don't use. They own a tour bus, and they don't use it because they play probably 10 to 15 shows every 2 years.
Oh.
It's like, you're a young band, what are you doing? Rent out that tour bus. You could probably make money doing that. You know what I mean?
I got to figure out who this is now. Now I'm curious. I'm going to think about this while you guys talk. I'm going to scream out names.
Well, I think another thing about Blackberry Smoke is, we asked Charlie a little bit about how they picked their opening acts, and he talked about how they got Tyler Bryant to tour with them and how they got the Georgia Thunderbolts. But I think like they see bands out there playing, but I think they probably believe like, they got to make sure like they've put their time in and they've been in the grind, but Charlie had the nicest thing to say about Them Dirty Roses, because they played at the Firewater Festival last year. And because I know Jason asked Charlie, like, well, who did you catch at the festival? And he mentioned Them Dirty Roses, and they said he's like, they got good songs and all that. So like, I feel like at some point they're going to be able to open some shows, but I think Charlie's probably, in Brit too, are probably like, we're going to make sure, they really nurture these bands that way. Like, they got to do more grind. They got to, put in a little more time, but
you can't suck
ready.
If you're open up for Blackberry Smoke or
and,
always perfect.
Yeah. You got to be able to throw down totally, which they can, the Dirty Roses. But I just think it's like, I think they're probably pretty wise about when they, snap their fingers on that and go, okay, now you can open, you're ready. I'm assuming anyway.
I saw the record company open up for Blackberry.
So did I. Yep. So did I.
Yeah, that was a great show. No, I truly believe that is the model for young bands today. Is you got to get out and play. I know it's not easy to book your own gigs, and I know the money's not always there, but I mean, I saw Them Dirty Roses at a country bar in Chicago 2-3 years ago, maybe it was. And, there was 20 to 30 people there. And they were having a good old time. They're like a Southern rock Van Halen in terms of the partying.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Party. And they were just awesome. They were just great. And they do make some really good music. And I think the future is bright for them. It's a great new band, great up and coming band. They just played last week in the Chicago area. I didn't get a chance to see them. But, they tour a lot. I know they've done some stuff with Goodbye June, which is another great band that I love.
Yep.
Their music is just phenomenal. Georgia Thunderbolts, as you mentioned. I don't know if Goodbye June, you could classify them as Southern rock. I think they do kind of dip
they have
their
elements, right?
Yeah, they dip their toe in that Southern rock pool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of that comes from just the arrangements and the style, and then
a lot of the gospel-y vocals and harmonies, right? Which is a hallmark of Southern rock
you listen
music.
to Step Aside, that riff that Tyler plays is just, that's total Southern rock.
And that's another example where, now I'll mention Whiskey Myers and bringing a band up, because when we talked to Tyler, he mentioned that those guys really kind of helping those guys along. And then in turn, we talked to the Weathered Souls, and they say well, Tyler and Goodbye June, they're really kind of helping us out. And, they both played on the Firewater Festival. So you see that kind of getting passed down, which is so cool. Same thing, like I said, Whiskey Myers nurturing bands the way Blackberry Smoke does.
This summer, serve up the cookout classics, Heinz Ketchup and Kraft Singles. Every good burger needs a layer of perfectly melty cheese and thick, rich ketchup. We all know it's not a cookout without Heinz and Kraft.
As far as the love of music for both you guys, when did you grasp that you had this undenying love for music, that it was so important to you?
Early on, like I said, even before that, getting Kiss Alive too. That's my earliest memories are of music. They just are. And I remember my brother and I were at our cousins, and that's back when they had them little wind up kind of guitars. And what's the song? Old Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. He was saying that was the thing, the song and the wind up. So that's one of my earliest memories of music. My mom had a piano in the house, and of course I had to listen to a lot of Lawrence Welk and polka music, Scandinavian upbringing, But we used to pretend, my brother and I, we would get somehow a piece of wood that maybe was on the bottom railing of a chalkboard or some kind of furniture. And then we would draw out on cardboard, a shape of a Les Paul or a Strat. And we're mimicking along to to Kiss and, the Beach Boys and the Beatles and ELO. That was
did you ever set it on fire?
No.
Well, he's from North Dakota, so those cold North Dakota winter nights, every once in a while, you had to
couldn't
burn
even start a fire, right? Yeah. So that's the other part of it. Besides Kiss, I mentioned the Beach Boys, ELO, the Beatles, and I can't deny the Bee Gees. Those were the bands. That's what we listened to. But Kiss was definitely besides after Kiss, then I think started listening to the Beatles after that. Those greatest, the Red and Blue.
Yes.
Greatest hits one. I got the blue one on CD around here somewhere, but ELO was great.
How about you, Jason?
Yeah, Brian had good answers, and I was trying to think of was there a specific a mechanism, a spark? I'm not sure. We always had music going on in the house. Both my parents were big music fans. Jay, we got into it last time I was on a little bit and kind of went down the Led Zeppelin route. I think, though, for me, maybe when music was important is I think what sticks out to me is bringing my battery-powered boombox on the bus in junior and seventh grade for both football and basketball and playing Guns N' Roses and Aerosmith and all that stuff. And that's when it was important, because I'm taking I'm taking this boombox with me. I'm playing it on the bus for my teammates and my friends, and I'm using it to build up. And I think that's probably the point where it became important to me, and it's kind of been key in my life, I would say, ever since.
Yeah. No, it's interesting how it just that art form grabs you. I've talked on this show about my grandfather being a lounge piano player back in the days of the speakeasies, playing for the mobsters, and how he had a baby grand in the basement.
Better be good if you're playing for mobsters, man.
Well, he was Sam Giancana's favorite piano player.
What?
Sam Giancana was who took over for Al Capone.
Mm-hmm.
So he always liked my grandfather's playing, and my grandfather always had to play in Sam's club. So there's a funny story that my grandfather tells where a mobster held a gun to his head.
Oh, God.
Not a gun to his head, a gun pointed at him. They'd just broken up with his girlfriend just broke up with him, and he made my grandfather play the same song over and over again for 2 hours straight.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah. What song was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I have to, maybe my mother knows, but
it's not a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure, but that piano playing, and plus then there was AM radio back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
My parents both listened to a lot of country, like Kenny Rogers and Anne Murray, and
oh God, my mom and sister loved Anne Murray. Oh, we had so many Anne Murray records. Snowbird, I remember that song. So much Anne Murray, so much.
Eddie Rabbit was a big one.
There you go. I Love a Rainy Night.
Yeah,
that's a great song.
That is a great song.
That's the first concert I ever went to. Was Eddie Rabbit.
I had a Chipmunks record, and they covered that on one of the record I had of the Chipmunks. You've not lived until you've heard the Chipmunks cover Eddie Rabbit. Chipmunks, rabbits, rodents, it all goes together.
Who was the Conway Twitty? Was another one that I remember hearing. Who was the blind country artist?
The blind country artist?
Was it Conway Twitty?
I know Conway Twitty wasn't blind, I don't think. Blind country? I have no idea who that would be. We watched a lot of Hee Haw, too, so I would think that would stick out.
Remember the movie 9 to 5 with the big song?
Yeah, of course. Great theme song. Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, Dolly Parton.
I got to tell you,
not as good as Rhinestone with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, come on, that's classic right there. Come on. The first time I ever flew to North Dakota, Brian, I was working for a corporation, and one of my clients was Polaris, in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. By the way, I just looked it up. Ronnie Millsap was.
Oh, Ronnie Millsap was blind?
Blind, yeah.
Huh.
And I remember getting on a plane. It was like where they had one seat on one side and two on the other. So it wasn't a very big plane. And a few things struck me as being different. Number one, a person got on the plane with wooden shoes. Okay. And then everybody had camouflage on. And I didn't know if we were going to parachute in or actually land the plane. And when I waited for my bag in the baggage claim at the North Dakota airport, which is about the size of a Target,
smaller,
in Fargo, and all these guns started coming out, like it was hunting season or something like that. So everybody was already ready in their camouflage, but all like these guns just started coming out. I think it was like pheasant hunting season or something like that. And then I remember it was the first time I ever rented a car where they didn't even walk me out to the car. They just gave me the keys and I was on my way. There you go. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm in North Dakota.
There's a parking lot. You'll find it.
Yeah.
It's not that big.
But then I
was going to say, going back to Eddie Rabbit, the song "I'm Driving My Life Away" is a great song. And,
it is. Yeah.
Only referencing that because for a while there's a newer female country artist, Lainey Wilson, and she's got a song called Roadrunner. And it's kind of got that same kind of pace.
Yeah.
And so that reminds me.
Dude, the 70s had some freaking good country music, right? And it kind of got poppier in the 80s and it kind of led to where we are now. But man, the 70s were solid.
70s is great.
I don't even like country music. Yeah.
Like I don't like country pop.
No.
No. Bro country. No, thank you.
Even I love Swamp Rock too. Who's the one that who does the cover of Polk Salad Annie? Or maybe that was the original that Elvis covered. Billy Joe, or Bobby. God, what was his name? His voice is so distinct too. It's got such a deep voice. He was on the Foo Fighters' Sonic Highways.
Oh, so he's on one of those.
Yeah.
Brian, this is your department. Like you're the encyclopedia.
Tony
Joe White.
There you go.
See?
See?
This is why I'm on a podcast with Brian. I don't know anything. I just make stupid comments, and Brian is the smart guy that knows stuff. I got to make up just by trying to be comedic for my lack of knowledge.
Some of these country pickers are like so good. There's a lot of them. Like and now I start to think, well, when you're a kid, like, I'll never listen to country.
Roy Clark, dude. Roy Clark was an amazing guitar player. Crazy guitar player.
Man. Yeah. And so now, and I think part of it too is like, seeing the relation between Southern rock, blues, gospel, country, and going way back, however long, 60s, early 70s, where I don't think there was many degrees of separation between that stuff. It all kind of intersects and it's familiar. When we were in Nashville for Rockin' Pod, I did a tour or went on a tour of RCA Studio B, and I had never known that Jerry Reed played on a lot of the rock stuff with Elvis, and he's an amazing.
He was badass.
Or was.
Yeah.
He's, passed for a while now, but yeah.
Didn't he go into acting at some point?
Well,
right?
Yeah, he was in Smokey and the Bandit.
Smokey and the Bandit and a couple other movies. Yeah.
If we're ever in Nashville together again, stick around an extra day because I'll take you guys to the Gibson Garage, and I can get access to the vault.
Oh yeah, man, that's all you have to say. Whatever it takes.
When you look at a $500,000 guitar, it's mind blowing.
I go to the Gibson every time I'm in Nashville. I go there. I went this last spring when we were there for Rock and Bar. By the way, we need a chaperone, so Brian's going to have to be there so you and I don't get into trouble. Jay and I are not good together without chaperone. It's
yes.
Not that we misbehave. The comments that come out of our mouths are not,
No, absolutely not. No, Nashville to me is such a man. It's such a great place for music fans, and I'm not talking about Broadway, right? Because everybody goes to Broadway, but there's so many other cool places. Like we just talked about the Gibson Garage, the Johnny Cash Museum is awesome. There's also some other clubs that are off the beaten path,
like the Bluebird Cafe, the Basement.
Was it
Third and Lindsley?
Third and Lindsley. Was it Bowie's?
Bowie's. Yep, it's another one.
It's the Bowl. What's the Bowl? Brooklyn Bowl, which is great.
Brooklyn
Bowl. And then there's like the bars that all the musicians go to at night, which I can't really say because they don't want anybody else going there. They don't want tourists going there.
Well, we ran into some hell of.
I'll tell you guys offline. I'll tell you guys offline what bar to go to when you're in Nashville.
Okay, all right.
But I just don't want to say it because I don't want. Dude, we got to change another bar. We got to go to a different bar now. So, but yeah, no, it's so cool. There's so many cool places to go. The food is great, and if you're a music lover, man, it's just nonstop. Like everywhere you go, there's music. My bucket list is still to see somebody at the Ryman. Still got to see somebody.
I did a tour of the Ryman too. That was great.
Yeah, so I've done that in the past, but like you guys, I'm dying to see a show there. Maybe when Jax gets that, headlining gig, maybe we can get tickets.
So happy for her that she's doing the Melissa Etheridge gig. She's so awesome.
That's a great crowd for her too, for her music.
Absolutely.
The people that show up for that, she's going to get a lot more fans out of that.
I saw Melissa Etheridge 30 years ago, 28.
Did she come to your window?
That was the tour. It was the Yes I Am album with Come to My Window, I'm the Only One.
Yeah.
Freaking kick-ass record.
Oh, she had some big hits there in the 90s, didn't she?
Bring Me Some Water, I think, was on her debut. And then she had an album in between the debut and the Yes I Am record. But her stuff has always been kick-ass. And like you said, Jason, that's a perfect artist for Jackson, the perfect audience for her. to really start building that base, to really start
female-oriented rock. That's what you got there, and that's what she does.
She really is the modern-day Melissa Etheridge when you think about it.
She fits right in because Melissa Etheridge, of course, did lots of different styles: country, rock, blue, a little bit of everything. That's what Jax does.
Yep.
Now I'm going to say Jax is a better guitar player than Melissa Etheridge, though.
Jax is a phenomenal guitar player.
She is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The best thing they did for that album is sorry, I know I cut you off, but not make her guitar playing emphasis. I think you guys talked about this on the podcast, and I was nodding my head in agreement. Is they showed the range and her voice in songwriting more than her guitar playing, because everybody knows she can play guitar, should. So the focus wasn't that. The focus was the songs and her voice.
Her uniqueness is what's really going to catapult her, and her perspective of what she can do when she writes a song. Like when you think of the music that she writes and how different it is and how unique it is, she can shred like nobody's business. She's a phenomenal guitar player, but I also think her strength is equal in her subtleness too.
Going from Underdog Anthems, which was like a harder rocking thing for her, to Only the Wild Ones, which is more kind of in our wheelhouse. I'm just enjoying, getting to hear that part of her. And her voice is so angelic, but I think too, it's like, there's, I don't know if my take on that is correct, but I think she's got she's letting a vulnerability out in her voice, and it's so pure and it's just beautiful,
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard to really capture vulnerability. I was explaining Paul Rogers to somebody when I was talking about my favorite vocalist of all time. And they're like, Paul Rogers. I'm like, dude, his vulnerability alone in his voice, that kind of, he's got almost like an underlying sadness when he sings, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you listen to him sing, the way he approaches, it's almost like he's getting over something when he sings. And I find that so fascinating.
Well, he has that bluesiness. He has that British blues invasion type of stuff to his voice, right?
He still sounds fucking incredible too.
Yeah, still.
I told in the group chat, I said to everybody, if he tours off this new album, you need to go see him, because he's like 72.
He's not going to be around forever, right?
He sounds absolutely phenomenal. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, when I listen to Shooting Star, like he just tells that story so well, at the end when, it, or even in the beginning too, Mama comes to the door with a teardrop in her eye. It's like, it almost can make me cry,
Yeah. Yeah. And then Leilani Kilgore, as we mentioned in the beginning, I can't wait for her announcement. I don't know what it is. Do you guys know what it is?
I do.
Is it going to be cool? I mean, it's a yes or no. Is it going to be cool?
It's all a matter of, it is a great opportunity for her.
Awesome.
And that's what I'm saying, because I'm not saying it until it's out in public.
I know.
And Brian, don't you?
Yeah, I know it's got something to do with
because I told you. Yeah, that's it.
I get, as we both probably do, all three of us probably do, but I get messages too. Don't post this.
Yeah. It's not my story to tell, but I think that'll be a good opportunity for her to play a well-established place with some well-established names that boy, I can't speak. It's late o'clock. It's late o'clock at night. Holy Lord. Much like Jax playing with Melissa Etheridge, it's going to open her to a new audience that'll take her in.
Nice. Yeah, I remember how difficult it was when I was sent the Goodbye June album, See Where the Night Goes. And I just wanted to talk about it because it was so good. Like, I have no one to talk about this with, I can't share this with anybody because I like to share music when I love it, right? Because I want someone else to feel the joy so we can talk about it. And that was difficult. That's difficult.
Yeah. I heard all the new Cold Stare stuff, plus the stuff that it make this last record. And it was the same thing. It's like, man, you want to give it to a bunch of people to listen to because there's some really good stuff on there. You can't. And then Adam Hamilton, Brian, you'll like this, just sent me a single right after the podcast of a song off the new Missing Persons record, because we were talking about like new wave and a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, that actually sounded pretty good. I was surprised. It sounded like Missing Persons.
Well, I know Mojo Thunder's got new music. I know already. I haven't heard any of it, but I'm just trying to get Bryson to share something.
Come on, Bryson, if you're listening, just send it to Brian. Brian's the biggest Mojo Thunder fan in the world.
They played some of it live. I haven't heard any of it, but
Chris Corradetti is the one that turned me on to Mojo Thunder, Jason.
I believe it.
Stuff. And then he also sent me Howlin' May Queen, which is great.
I don't think I know them. Brian, do you know those? Howlin' May Queen?
Howlin' May Queen.
Yeah. I think that's I think that's the name of the band. He sent me that. They were really good. Who else? Do you guys like was it Nikki Lane?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love. Have you ever seen her live?
No. I've seen like online, like YouTube and stuff of her playing.
I love the song 100,000 Rednecks.
She's got like, she's a kind of an Americana, but she does
like
a little bit of that.
Country.
Yeah. Which is kind of like America. I don't even know what outlaw country or Americana are. I mean, they play Blackberry Smoke on outlaw country. They play random stuff there.
I love Nikki Lane. She's awesome.
Great voice. Yeah, she was with wasn't she part of another band at some point? Now she's just doing solo stuff.
I know she did some couple collaborations with Butch Walker.
Okay.
I don't know what. I think just background vocals, or maybe she did some acoustic work with him. But I saw her live in the fall. And it was a rainy night. As we fade in, it was a rainy night in Evanston.
I love a rainy night.
Yeah, and I drove, and I kept saying to myself, "Why the fuck am I going to this show? This is bullshit." Like I don't want to drive in this, because it wasn't easy to get to. It's not close to the highway, so I parked, and I got all wet going in the show. And as USA and Chris on our group chat will tell you, that I get to a show right before it starts. And of course I walk in, and then she starts playing. She was absolutely phenomenal. She was great.
Is that intentional? Like you schedule to show up like right before the first person goes on, like to time it?
Yeah.
What happens if you can't find parking?
I can always find parking.
Okay. All right. Big city guy. Sniffing out.
I can always find parking.
Okay. All right.
And that's part of the reason why I walk in right when I'm supposed to, is because I'm looking for parking. I know it's going to take me a certain amount of time to get a parking spot. So I use that to my benefit.
But you missed Bourbon House with Jared James Nichols, but that was a snowstorm.
That was a blizzard. Okay.
All right.
It usually takes an hour and 10 to get to Milwaukee. Took me close to 3 hours.
I give it to you for going out in kind of weather like that to begin with.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. I think as I'm driving back, I'm like, I got to stop doing this shit. Driving 3 hours for basically to see Jared James Nichols for an hour and then drive back.
Yeah, but you were trying to see Bourbon House as well, which is also another band that both of our podcasts love.
Love that band. Yeah. Love that band.
I'm going to see them in Indianapolis in a couple weeks.
Are they doing a festival or are they doing a show?
They're doing a show downtown at a German beer garden.
Nice. You know who did a lot of that was the Black Moods. I saw the Black Moods at a microbrewery in Wisconsin. And now you go to their shows, and I love that every time you see them, they've got a bigger crowd. I mean, they're really, those guys do the grind.
Oh, for sure. I just saw him play with the Dead in Columbus at this little club right by Ohio State. And it was a Monday night, decent crowd, small club, but it's a Monday night. It was like one of the first shows of that tour they did. Both the bands were great, and it's just fun music.
As far as other new artists, what are you guys into?
Brian, first, let me tout Brian. Brian is an awesome talent scout. If they still had records and still had, people would go out to do that, that would be his perfect job. He's got an ear for this type of music.
Well, the internet is such a great source to find stuff, and a lot of stuff I find on Spotify. But the latest two bands that I think are absolutely fantastic is the Dirty Gospel,
yes,
out in Knoxville, and One for the Road from Northern Georgia. They're both really great, straight up Southern rock kind of bands, and
A lot of potential with the two. They're just getting themselves started, but the talent's there.
Well, how I saw them was like it was one weekend at the Shed, and what do they call that, Jason? The double dirty
weekend, or double dirty something.
The Dirty Gospel played on Friday, and them Dirty Roses played on Saturday, and then One for the Road opened for the Dirty Gospel, and then the Josephines were supposed to open for them Dirty Roses, but couldn't make it for some reason. So then a couple of guys from One for the Road played acoustically. But listen to them, listen to the Dirty Gospel, and listen to One for the Road. They're just,
if you like Southern rock, like legit Southern rock, those guys are right there.
I mean, to me, I think it would be incredible if you were able to see, and the Georgia Thunderbolts have previously opened for Blackberry Smoke, but if you had One for the Road, then the Georgia Thunderbolts and Blackberry Smoke, they One for the Road sounds, they're just like that style. It's really good. Their bass player is only 17. They're just incredible, great band.
Kind of like the Black Crowes. Rich was 17, just getting out of high school, and Chris is the older brother, is the singer. Yeah. It's very similar story.
Now that we're all together, can we talk about how upsetting that Bishop Gunn is no longer?
Yeah. I mean, what can I say? We were talking earlier about, like you get to hear things that, don't say this or whatever. But I mean, a couple of the guys, well, obviously Drew Smithers is doing so well. He's playing with Marcus King. He sat in for Benji Shanks and Blackberry Smoke. Ben Lewis, who was the bass player, he's done his own thing. And, I think, how can I be, vague about this? But those two guys are, word on the street, more grounded than the other two guys are, kind of the typical rock and roll story of, certain things that distract from the music. So yeah, it is. It really is. It's really sad that happened, because they were so good. But, I think Drew is probably going to end up, he's doing very well for himself, very well. I was so impressed when he filled in for Benji Shanks. And I texted Ben and I said, like, I wonder if they even rehearsed at all. I think we asked Charlie the second time he was on, did they do like one rehearsal or something? And Ben goes, man, Drew, he is like a master of his craft. I mean, he needs the We All Rise Again, that solo that Warren Haynes does. Like Drew just nailed it. Just perfect. Incredible. Yeah. I think Travis has done some stuff. Travis McCready, he had the original bass player from Brother Kane, I think, or either the bass player or the drummer, I can't remember. And he was doing some stuff, but I don't know what he's doing now. I know that the drummer, whose name is escaping me right now, he either still does or had the recording studio in Natchez. And that's where Magnolia Bayou, who unfortunately broke up as well, they did their second record at that. And Burn Sharp's the drummer, and he produced Magnolia Bayou, Strange Place, and his studio in Natchez. Natchez Sound, I think it's called.
Yeah, that album, Gypsy Cadillac, is a freaking masterpiece.
See, I've listened to it a little bit, but I haven't really sat down and absorbed it. You think it's pretty good?
Brian,
yeah.
It's incredible, man. It really is. There's a certain sadness when you listen to it, because I think that album would have catapulted them into superstardom. Yeah, because it's a near perfect record. It really is. Well,
and those guys open for the Stones. I mean, that right there, you got to applaud them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just that missed opportunity, and I've got a good relationship with Travis, and he is working on some stuff and working on some things. I'm glad everybody has kind of found their space and their place, and I just hope Travis does, because Travis just has an amazing voice.
Oh yeah,
and he's a pure artist. And I just hope at some point he finds his way back and makes some music.
Yeah, he's an incredible singer.
Yeah.
One thing I like about all of our podcasts, and we have a lot of crossovers, is like we do a lot for new and emerging artists, and I think that's that's great because I find a lot of stuff that I wouldn't know about, and I get to enjoy just through the people that we have on, or Jay listening to your podcast, because you do a lot more of, the spectrum of rock music, where we're kind of focused on, a little bit more blues and southern rock.
Yeah, no, I like it too. And I love it when we have the same guest on, because our shows are kind of the same, but also very different. And I just like the different perspective. I like the different atmosphere each show kind of provides.
We don't ask the same questions that we ask, both podcasts ask.
No, and I think that's important. And I think it's just, you guys have a different vibe than I have and other podcasts. And I always say too, especially for young artists, dude, be on as many podcasts as you can. Don't let
learn how to speak and tell a story.
Learn how to speak and tell a story. Learn how to connect with fans, because who was it? I think it was it Jax, or was it, I forget who it was, the first time I interviewed her. And she said that podcasts were really at the forefront of music right now, rock music, because there's no rock radio anymore.
No.
So, I mean, you should be, if you're a young artist, you should be contacting podcasts, sending them your stuff, get on the show. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. None of us are large and in charge and but if you pick up 2-3 fans from an interview from this podcast, or 2-3 fans, that's how it grows. It's how it starts. That's how it happens. And you should never limit yourself. Never let anybody tell you that, you shouldn't do certain podcasts. Be on as many. Obviously, if you're Jax Hollow, you don't want to be on like a freaking metalcore podcast. You got to know your audience, but
she's got to hit the What's Hot in Strip Clubs podcast.
Jason, you know what's hot in the strip club?
Gonorrhea,
herpes. that heat that you're feeling in your pants isn't from the butt rub friction from the stripper. That's some much needed penicillin right there.
Oh man. But they are our Pantheon podcast brothers, I believe. What's Hot Strip Club? So shout out to those guys.
When's the last time you guys have been in a strip club?
2004.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a long time. Probably my friend's bachelor party in 2003 or 4. Yeah.
Mine was probably right after my divorce, which is like about 16 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but I got kind of quickly faded because I was like, I don't like giving my money to someone.
Yeah. I'm cheap, man.
And I've seen enough pair of boobs in my life where
I got cable. Now everybody's got the internet, so
I got Google. Which is another thing too. Like whenever there's an adult bookstore about 20 minutes from my house that I drive up and down a lot, because a lot of the buildings that I work with are up along the street. And like during the day, I'll see guys walking into an adult bookstore, and I just always have the same thought. I'm like, don't you know how to Google?
They are single-handedly keeping printed media alive.
They are.
Shout out to people who go to
and hand lotion.
Yeah.
And you got to Google. Bill Burr does a great bit about that, like being younger and going to the porn place or whatever. I can't do it. You got to hear it, but he talks about like you're trying to like be all like under the radar with all the other perverts. He says.
But I think we're all similar age. Jay and I are the same age, and Brian, I know we're close. And like, I think it just gets to that point in your life where people, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not of an interest of anything anymore, especially if you're cheap like me.
You know, guys ever go to Mardi Gras?
No.
Mardi Gras, you get there the first day, and it's, beads and boobs for basic, and you're just like, your neck hurts from but by like the third or fourth day you're there, you're like, let's go get some
old hat.
Cajun
catfish.
Yeah, go get a po' boy.
Get a po' boy. Shrimp
I'm so booged out at this moment.
Did you ever think there'd be a point in your life when you ever say that? Like, think about your younger self.
No, never thought.
Like teenage Jay.
No,
I'm boobed out.
Because at some point in your life, all you want to do is see boobs, right? That's like your whole goal when you wake up in the morning and you're like 12, 13, 14, is to somehow, some way see a live in the flesh set of boobs.
Yep.
And, you come home, you're disappointed. And, because it doesn't really happen. And it kind of happens like the first time I saw a live pair of boobs. Okay? Live pair of boobs.
The Jay Scott story.
I was in California, and I'm in Redondo Beach, right? And I'm walking back from the ocean because I was in the ocean. I was kind of like knee deep, in the ocean and stuff. And I'm walking back, and this woman, she was probably like in her late 30s, early 40s, was sunbathing topless on Redondo Beach. And I just could not take my eyes off. Like, this is it. This is
How old were you?
I've reached the pinnacle of my life. I've seen a pair of boobs, But I was 14. It was 8th grade graduation. I went to California for like a month, visit my family and relatives out there. Yeah, first time I saw
a worthwhile trip. You left a child, came back a man. It sounds like
It was like summer of 42.
I've seen that movie. Yep.
They don't show that movie anymore.
It used to be on HBO all the time.
They don't show that movie anymore.
No,
because
why?
It's kind of like how Hot for Teacher can't be made anymore either.
Yeah,
it can't be seen anymore.
Yeah, I guess.
I had a teacher that looked just like that blonde teacher in Hot for Teacher.
What?
Yes. Mississippi Aura.
Brian, did you ever have any? No way.
No,
I didn't
Mississippi
either.
Aura, 7th grade science teacher.
Oh, in junior high, that's the worst place you could be.
God, please. I'm not even kidding you. Like you're killing us here. Like she come like with these short skirts on and stiletto heels.
Oh, what?
And then obviously.
Didn't you go to Catholic school at some point?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like Catholic school to me.
She knew what she was doing to us. She knew.
What kind of nuns were there?
It was sinful.
That was a Catholic school?
Catholic school, yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah, Mississippi Aura. Jones.
Did she try to get you to kill her husband like on the movie before?
The Pamela Smart story? Good Lifetime movie. You guys can do a double feature.
Well, the one that Brian named to die for, that's the one with like Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What teacher was? Well, the Pamela Smart was the actual teacher that got one of her students.
Yeah. That movie was a take on it. It wasn't
I
don't think that was a true story. It was like
something?
a fictional, but it was like a, amalgamation of all the other standard things that happened. Remember Amy Smart? Was it like, didn't she, was it not Amy Smart? Amy, the Long Island Lolita who shot like her.
Oh, Amy Fisher.
Amy Fisher. Who's Amy Smart? What is
Amy
that?
Smart, I think, was the young girl that was kidnapped that they found like living in a tent behind someone's house.
Oh, from Utah.
Amy Fisher was in one of those, seasons of Celebrity Rehab with Steven Adler.
Oh boy. Oh, those used to be on VH1. I remember those.
Was that with what's his name? Dr.
Drew.
Yeah. God, I hate that guy.
Yeah, nerd.
That guy is such a hack.
He is. He's a douchebag.
Like whatever. This is a public service announcement for those that like. What was his name again? Dr.
Drew.
Dr. Drew.
Whatever he says, do the complete opposite. do the complete opposite, please.
Where was he a doctor in? Like, was he a real medical doctor, or was he just?
I think it was one of those. I think it was one of those like certificates or something like that.
How come
he could draw the parrot on the back of the matchbook and he got the diploma?
Right.
How come they never did a celebrity death match with Dr. Drew and Dr. Phil?
Ooh.
Both a bunch of blowhards.
They're both still alive. There's still time.
Can you imagine this is one of the things I always wondered about with Dr. Phil and Maury Povich and Springer and all that stuff. If you have someone contact you from that show, okay, it's not going to end well for you.
You do not come out looking good after the episode airs.
You will not.
Yeah.
Ever.
Hang up. Lose my number. Hang up the phone. Do not.
How about we go outside? How about that?
Maury Povich, are you the father?
Oh my God.
He used to be an upstanding journalist. He used to do current affair.
That's right. And his wife,
upstanding journalism.
Well, his wife was also a national news. Connie Chung. Yeah. On 2020 or oh my God, they were legit journalists.
How do you live with yourself though when you know you got to get up every day and it's either are you the father, juvenile delinquents or the road to prison or whatever it is. I had an affair with my wife's sister, something like that. Like every day you got to get up and you just got to make the bacon, man.
Depends on how soft that stack of money you were sleeping on was.
And Springer was the original, right? Well, no.
Yep.
The original was not Springer.
Gerardo. What? No, Geraldo.
Gerardo. Jason? Talking about Suave, who by the way was also in Can't Buy Me Love.
Yes. He was one of the jocks.
I had a crush on Amanda Peterson, the blonde.
Everybody did.
Oh my God.
The African Anteater Dance.
Oh my God.
Yes, there you go, Brian. But here's the original. The original was Morton Downey Jr.
Oh, yeah. It was like on USA late at night or something, wasn't he? He was on one of those basic cable channels.
And like he used to smoke a cigarette. And Ace Frehley did a show a lot.
Oh my God.
And you could see,
but he would have like the real freaks and stuff on, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and he would like, and that you could walk up to like a podium with a microphone and you could shout it at the guests. and then Mort would just sit there smoking his cigarette and like nod his head as you talk. I mean, I remember he had like the Ku Klux Klan, like Grand Poobah or whatever they call the guy. Which reminds me, great Curb Your Enthusiasm episode when Larry David is coming out of a coffee shop and he bumps in to a KKK member and he spills coffee all over his white garment. And Larry agrees to take it to the cleaners for him and pay for it. And he takes it to a Jewish cleaners.
And he's Jewish.
Yeah. He goes, this is what I'm doing, folks. This is what I'm doing. I'm turning the cheek. Curb Your Enthusiasm is uncomfortably funny, as is Eastbound and Down.
Yes. Katie Powers is one of my heroes in life.
You ever see this stuff, Brian?
What stuff?
Eastbound and Down?
The movie or the? Oh,
that's a TV series.
No. Oh, I know what you're talking about, but I haven't.
You gotta watch it.
Danny McBride.
Yeah.
Who's also in the Righteous Gemstones, which I've been watching as well. About
elevating his
family. Yeah. That's right. Season 3. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
bring it all back to Goodbye June.
Yep.
And our buddy Tyler.
Yes.
That's Jay's buddy. Jay's buddy Tyler, who Jay has things shipped to Tyler's house when he goes to Nashville to go pick up.
Morton Downey Jr. was like on a WrestleMania with Roddy Piper blowing smoke in his face, so then Roddy
oh my God,
beats the hell out of him.
Surprisingly, Morton Downey Jr. died of lung cancer.
What? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Chain smoking,
chain smoking like 3 packs during an hour show.
Eastbound and Down is a great song by Jerry Reed, though.
I love that song.
There we go.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes.
Best
was Jerry Reed in Smokey and the Bandit 2, or was it just
okay? And 3.
But it was just him in 3, no Burt Reynolds, right?
Right.
That's right.
Burt Reynolds was a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
Back in like the 70s and 80s.
He scored Lonnie Anderson of WKRP and Cincinnati fame.
All comes together.
All comes together.
But on the third Smokey and the Bandit, they had like the more modern Trans Am instead of like the. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like they did with Cannonball Run. Cannonball Run 1 was awesome, and they had was it Cannonball Run or Cannonball 2 with Adrienne Barbeau?
I think the first one.
Adrienne Barbeau. Oof.
Oh yeah.
You don't know what I'm talking about? Watch The Fog, and watch Creepshow.
Yep, Swamp Thing. She was in the first Swamp Thing.
Yeah, she was. Yeah,
not a great movie, but There wasn't a lot of superhero movies.
Does Creepshow have Screaming Until You Like It by Wasp? Or what?
No,
what
that's Ghoulies.
That's Ghoulies 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ghoulies 2 when they're at the carnival.
Creepshow has the Ted Danson story where
are
buried in the sand.
And then the ocean comes over them and they drown. And then
Adrienne Barbeau plays the shrewish wife and the professor who finds that creature in that cage.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. That's her episode. And Stephen King that too. Remember he was a hillbilly who grew like moss.
He wrote all those stories.
Did he?
Yeah. 80s horror stuff is a thing of legend.
Well, it had all the good music because we're talking about all these rock guys and songs that have. I mean, it was like you got the heavy metal music and you have all like the slashers and the star. It's perfect combination.
I mean, you had I would say top 5 80s horror movies: The Fog, The Howling. Ooh. I would go. Was Halloween 79?
That was in the start. The first one was in the 70s, yes.
And was Friday the 13th was 80s. I would do Omen. Or no,
Ooh.
Damien, Omen. Yeah. Was it Omen? Yeah. The Omen.
The Damien was the second one, right? The sequel to The Omen.
And then I would probably do
the first Amityville horror was crazy.
Yeah, I would probably do Amityville. Definitely.
That was with James Brolin and Margot Kidder in that one. That at the end when the blood comes out of the walls and all that stuff used to freak me out as a kid.
Yeah.
Brian, did you like horror movies? I don't think we've ever talked about we do our Halloween episodes, but
well, I thought The Conjuring was done really well, almost like 70s style.
Conjuring,
for sure.
Conjuring is ridiculous, like it's scary. Like, like I was freaked out, and I was a grown ass man when I.
Yeah.
Those are, but I want to go back to the 80s real fast. So, great soundtracks and great horror films. And we talked about this with Ace Von Johnson in our Halloween episode, but like Return of the Living Dead, great movie, great punk soundtrack. You had Trick or Treat, which you already brought up with Fastway, did the whole soundtrack. Yeah. That's a good one. God, you had like Alice Cooper doing Friday the 13th, movie songs. You had Vinnie Vincent Page. You had Dokken and Vinnie Vincent Page.
Dream Warriors is a great song.
Yeah, it is a great song. It's the best song Dokken ever did.
Whoa. Let's.
What do you break? Are you a breaking the chains guy, or like what are you doing?
No. I would pretty much anything on Tooth and Nail. I would do The Hunter. A lot of stuff off Under Lock and Key, Back for the Attack. Dream Warriors, good song. Not their best ever. I wouldn't even put it in the top 10.
Brian, best Dokken song, go.
Well, I mean, best ones, Dream Warriors, Unchain the Night, It's Not Love. I like Heartless Heart off Tooth and Nail.
Great underrated song, Brian. Great underrated song. Absolutely. I would say if I had to pick the best Dokken song, I would go with, in my opinion, either The Hunter or When Heaven Comes Down.
That's a good one.
I don't know the second one. I know The Hunter though.
Yeah.
I was never a big Dokken guy. They never really did it.
That's why you are who you are, Jason. That's
No Kiss, no Dokken.
How do you not be a Dokken fan? I mean, come on.
I don't know. They just never really spoke to me that much. I dug George Lynch as a player. I got it. I like more of the bluesier stuff, like the Teslas, the Aerosmiths, the Cinderellas, the Junkyards. Those were really what I gravitated to.
Best song off Mechanical Resonance.
Oh, We Belong Together. We're no good together. Sorry.
Yeah, We're No Good Together is great.
That's very bluesy.
Dude, that's like bluesy Rod Stewart. That's like Faces.
It is. Coming At You Live is great. Modern Day Cowboy, getting better. Like shit, man. That's a great record.
Great record. Yeah, We're No Good Together should have been huge. That's a great tune.
Good power ballad, man. Like I don't know why that didn't go up there, but that's one of my favorite Tesla songs just for the bluesiness of the whole thing.
I'm seeing them at the end of August.
Oh, where are they playing?
Dakota Magic Casino. About an hour.
They're playing in Lima, Ohio this Friday, and I'm not seeing them because I'm not going to Lima.
Did you ever go to the Loudon Lima Festival?
No, I did not.
Do they have lima beans? Do they sell lima beans in Lima?
No, they don't. They do not. It's nicknamed the Ghetto Cornfield.
Okay. Do they sell corn?
I mean, there's a lot of cornfields. I think they sell like bullet wounds and stab scars.
Do you get a buy one get one free when that happens?
You go to a strip club in Lima, and you're certainly seeing C-section scars and bullet wound scars, and there's no doubt about it.
You don't even have to get a dance at one of those strip clubs. The herpes will just jump on you. They're just like floating around. They have like wings. They're like flies. You know,
you get in the general orbit of it, and all of a sudden the gravitational pull. No, it is no. But I'm seeing a shit ton of shows coming up, and I had to kind of pick and choose. And Lima is not the greatest place to go, and Tesla plays better places. In fact, they're playing a better place in Ohio at the Phrase Pavilion in Kettering in late August with Steelheart opening, who you just had the lead singer on.
Yeah, Millie. Yeah, absolutely.
And he just had a stroke right after that. You gave him a stroke, by the way. Like, as soon as he was off that podcast, he had a stroke.
I'll tell you offline what happened, how that happened.
Okay.
Because I had somebody tell me what happened with that.
Because I've been blaming you the whole time because he was on your podcast. I listened. The next thing I know, the dude had a stroke.
I'm sorry.
You're just shaking your head.
Well, guys,
Brian, I'll just say, Brian, this is why Jay and I need a chaperone, because
I heard some of the stuff you guys talked about at Rockin' Pod.
Yeah. Poor Brian. He has to play the straight man to my nonsense, Jay, you know?
Think about
He's
Brian's life. Think about Brian's life. Mick Jagger drowned him in a pool. All right. And then he gets replaced by Mick Taylor. And he resurfaces years later on All Things Blues and Southern Rock podcast. So, he went
into hiding. And I know you're getting ready to cut the show short, like cut it off. But before we go, because you brought this up, what do you think really happened to Brian Jones, guys?
I think he probably hit his head in a pool and he drowned.
Probably, yeah. Or he was too effed up to swim.
Yeah.
Maybe he's too effed up. He hit his head.
There's a whole conspiracy theory about one of the guys in the band, drowned him in the pool. And that could have happened, but I don't know if there's any concrete evidence of that.
Keith Richards, he did it. Killed him.
That's a great way to end the show, Jason. Jack off.
Hey, come on, everybody knows you can't kill Keith Richards.
Keith Richards killed him.
The last word of the podcast is Keith Richards killed him. He did it.
The last word was you can't kill Keith Richards.
There's no segue to get out of this now. It's like, all right.
Screw you, Jay.
Jason's views are Jason's alone and not part of the Hook Rocks podcast.
I feel first you give the singer of Steelheart a stroke, and now you blame Keith Richards for Brian Jones dying. What kind of podcast is this?
Jason's own and not reflective of the Hook Rocks podcast or Jay Scott or his partner Brian Jones on the All Things Blues and Southern Rock podcast.
Well, actually, on an upcoming episode of All Things Blues and Southern Rock, we're going to get a Ouija board and have a seance and talk to the original Brian Jones.
Find out who did it. That would be great.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Thanks,
that
Jason.
Would be great.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anything I could do.
You know what? Now we're not just a rock podcast, a music podcast, but we're also a true crime. We solve crimes,
and we're all going to be sued for slander. So,
and Jason sometimes asks people like, "What series should you watch?" And there's a series I'm watching called "Based on a True Story."
What?
About crime podcasts with Kelly, however you spell her last name. Cuoco. It was on the Big Bang Theory.
Oh, it's Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah,
from the
Nerd Show,
the Big Bang Theory.
Bang Theory, yes. And then the one show before with John Ritter, who died when he was on that show. God, this is a dark podcast, Jay.
Based on a True Story is the name of it. So
Keith Richards killed John Ritter.
Keith Richards.
Jason, of course, if you're just tuning in now,
you're wondering what the hell are these guys talking
Jason
about?
Lays out all of the evidence
against Keith Richards. We prove on the All Things Blues and Southern Rock podcast, it's all about proving who killed Brian.
How the hell can Keith Richards kill someone? He can barely talk and stand up.
It's an act because you don't suspect him. He's perfect.
So Johnny Depp's whole MO is based on a bullshit act of Keith Richards to hide a murder that he committed against Brian Jones.
Because Johnny Depp's whole act is bullshit anyway, so yes.
I don't even know how to get out of this podcast. I don't even know how to end this show.
Let Brian talk. I'll shut up. That's how you do it.
I don't know how to segue to. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's been been a blast.
The 501st and last episode of the Hook Rocks. We're going to have to change the name.
We made it to 501. We made it to 501.
You're going to have to change your name, change the podcast.
It's not a type of Lee Blue Jeans.
You're going to read on social media that Brian fired me off All Things Blues and Southern Rock because.
Well, no, he didn't fire you. He had to get rid of you. Pressure from.
Hey, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pressure from the Keith Richards camp.
Yes. You guys are going to get a cease and desist from Keith Richards, and it's going to have a bag of Coke. That was the same bag of Coke that was found at the White House.
It was Keith Richards.
When was Keith Richards at the White House?
No, that was Willie Nelson. He smoked a joint on the roof.
It's either Keith Richards who left the Coke at the White House, or I don't know. Was Jimmy Page there? Was somebody from back in the 60s? I mean, who brings cocaine to the White House? I guess that's a dumb question.
Who's still doing that's an 80s? Speaking of 80s, that's an 80s thing. Well, come on, man.
Gray Slick contemplated dosing the coffee thing with LSD when they were there, but she didn't.
That would have been awesome.
Maybe it was Don Jr. Maybe he dropped it under a table.
Probably misplaced it. There's all those cubby holes and other places things could be. I'm sure. Could have been anybody. All right, here's how we get out of this. What is the one show this summer you're looking forward to seeing in person? Go.
Me? Whiskey Myers and Tesla.
Guys. All right. Jay, I know you're limited right now, but is there something you are signed up to go see?
I would say Blackberry Smoke, Larkin Poe, Tyler Bryant at Beachlight Festival in Redondo, California.
They're all playing together?
Yeah, same day.
Oh, man, that would be... they're going to all jam together, right?
Yeah, that's in September.
Okay. Are you going? Are you helping on plan going out?
Yeah.
Relatives?
Yeah,
okay.
that's the plan, yeah.
All right. Well, mine is next Tuesday. The wife and I are going to see Belinda Carlisle. God bless.
Nice.
Yeah. And we'll see if heaven is truly a place on earth.
Again, you just kill the ending of the show. Like, now the choice either did it, he killed him, or we end on a go or a Belinda Carlisle song.
I am so in vain of this podcast, I am going to see Government Mule doing their Dark Side of the Mule tour when it comes through Columbus. Saw it in Indianapolis 2019. It was amazing. Really looking forward to seeing it again.
Ryan, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find All Things Blues Southern Rock on Facebook. Search it. I don't know the exact kind of thing. Jason can tell you about the Instagram, and we've got a website that I kind of try to work on every once in a while. It's on Podium, www.allthingsbluesandsouthernrock.com.
I'll leave it all in the notes of the show. But thank you to two of my favorite people in this podcast.
Not anymore.
Brian, love having you for the first time. Jason,
thank you.
It's your last time on the Hook Rocks.
Fair.
You're banned just like Eliza Niels from Jackson, Michigan.
That's right.
Yes, you are banned. Guys, it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, man.
Everybody check out the All Things Blues and Southern Rock podcast, part of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Again, check out the notes of the show, and you'll have all the links for their social media and their website. Great podcast, great couple of guys, except Jason's a little flaky sometimes. Don't forget to have a great day. Take care of each other. And this is Jay Scott, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.
Looking for another man.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast! An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.